This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Oh, okay. Let's go in here. Okay. Hello? Oh man. Hello, my name is Emma. Am I too late for this? Are you sick of people talking about this? I feel like I've missed the boat a bit. Well, you're here anyway, so. Wish, like a lot of Disney movies of recent, was one I was going to skip over. I mean, I had little to no desire to watch this movie until I found out about the concept art. We could have had this? Excuse me? What? Disney? Do you not like interesting things to happen in your movies? If you've been online at all of recent, you know of this movie and the discourse surrounding it. People have a lot to say about this. Is it as bad as everyone's saying? I want to say no, but it could be better. I couldn't let this stand. I had to roll up my sleeves and use my tiny art skills to articulate my feelings on this wasted film. So we're doing a redesign and rewrite today, folks, as well as talking about this movie that I could only describe as bland and uninspired for a Disney movie. But before we get into that, I would like to talk about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes and members. It's a place where you can learn new skills to use in your life, whether it be how to get your YouTube channel off the ground or strategies to help with procrastination. There's so much that this platform has to offer. Skillshare classes are led by industry professionals and a lovely community of active members to cheer you on. I personally have been involved in the class Painting Colorful Portraits in Procreate by Riso Chan. She is so well spoken, and I feel you can never brush up enough on practicing form or color when drawing, no matter what skill level. With Skillshare's hands-on learning approach, you get immersed with the teacher working along with assignments. I personally really like that feature as I am someone who has a really short attention span, so this really grabs my focus. The first 500 people to use my link will get 1 month free membership to try out and see what you think. If you are interested, join Skillshare today. Thank you, Skillshare, and let's get back to the video. I will say there is going to be spoilers in this video, so if you want to watch this movie and you haven't seen it yet, you might want to come back to this later on. If you like this movie, more power to you. I didn't hate it myself. I just think there are things that could be changed for the better. And also, alert, alert, wee-woo. I am one girl. I am not Disney. So these designs are not going to be perfect at all. I'm doing my best. Please go easy on me. Don't kill me. I began with doing some studies from Disney movies to get a feel of the style. This movie was originally supposed to be 2D animated in their classic style, so I wanted to give an alternate reality of what this movie might have looked like to my best abilities. I don't know how I did, maybe I did bad, you can let me know. Maybe don't let me know, I take that back. So, for this movie, the main character's name is Asha. She is what I would call in the realm of Disney leading lady syndrome. We've seen it in Frozen, Moana, Tangled, Encanto. Not only do most of these women share very similar features and face shapes, they also have very similar personalities. The lead character is almost always bubbly, young, quirky, adorkable. In the last 10 years, more than not, women main characters in Disney animated films have had at least one or more of these traits. I know it's marketable. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And the majority of the movies I listed, I don't think are bad. I actually like most of them. And I like the main characters in those movies as well. But because Wish is so soulless comparatively, it's hard not to look at the past for what Disney thinks will make a good leading lady. Asha is not a bad character when you see her on paper. She just doesn't stand out. She is smart and cunning and strong, like all Disney princesses should be, but she doesn't bring anything new to the table that we haven't seen before. I had a hard time articulating what my problem is with Asha, other than I feel like she doesn't really have any flaws to work out and develop as a character. She's kind of just perfect from the get-go. So it makes her character development throughout the movie seem less impactful, at least in my opinion. I think her design is good. I really like her hair, and she is very beautiful. That's no contest. But all I could think about during this movie was she looks like Rapunzel. Okay, she doesn't exactly look like Rapunzel. I know she's in her own thing, but Disney's marketing is big on the princesses being together, right? And a monochromatic purple color scheme says Rapunzel to me. She also has a similar face shape and, longish hair. So, I'm not saying it's a bad design again, but it just feels too samey. For Asha's redesign, I changed her dress a lot, going for a more blue tone. I wanted her dress to almost look like a sunset to really complement another character I'll get into in a little bit. So she's kind of got that night sky twilight motif going on. I did have to redraw her though, you'll see in the speed paint. That first pass just wasn't great. It wasn't saying leading lady to me. Thankfully, Disney style is very simple compared to what I usually do for rendering, so it wasn't that bad to redraw. I'm also changing her personality. Give us a shy princess, come on. Just because you're quiet and reserved doesn't mean you can't be a strong leading lady or become one. Oh, and she is literally a princess now. A princess in universe. In the movie, I think the dead dad storyline was underbaked. There just wasn't enough about Asha's family to really get connected to them at all. I mean, it took me forever to realize that this woman was Asha's mother. Maybe I'm just stupid, but now they are getting written out and Asha is going to be adopted by the king Magnifico. In the movie, Magnifico is the main villain. He is the king of Rosas, a community he built to keep his people safe by taking their wishes, which in this universe is basically your aspirations, and storing them to maybe grant them one day. He basically has like a wish granting ceremony, and somebody randomly gets their wish granted. I don't know. It's kind of, again, underdeveloped. And he does this to avoid what happened to his last community, which I assume had a lot of trauma and havoc for him. Taking wishes from the people kind of drains them and makes them more compliant, I guess, for the king. But I don't get that because if he's taking the wishes away from people, which are, I would say, their will to live, what are they doing all day? Whatever. For my redesign, I want Asha to be a found baby or child by Magnifico and his wife Amaya, taking her under their wing and raising her as their own. She doesn't have anything from her past family but a necklace which Magnifico says is meant for protection, an old wives' tale that the stars above will look out for you as you need. Magnifico still builds the same Rosas and takes people's wishes as well as being the antagonist along with his wife. In the original concept, Amaya was supposed to be evil, as well as being Disney's first villainous couple, which would have been cool as hell. Disney, stop playing it safe and take chances on these things for once. Maybe since they are Asha's parents now, they could be redeemed, but I think this idea is a lot stronger. It gets rid of the need for Asha's random apprenticeship for the king to discover the truth about the wishes, which is that most of them will never get granted because they're quote-unquote unstable. And it also gets her way closer to the situation since I feel like in the movie the stakes weren't high enough. There wasn't a lot of pressure in places I feel like there should have been. Since Magnifico is her father now, him being shady and weird about the wishes makes her decision making a lot harder for her. I think her connection to her parents is kind of toxic and they expect a lot from her. She probably has to be this overachiever and outshine in a lot of things that she just doesn't want to do. I'm gonna be honest, I got this idea because the dress I designed for her was way dressier than I wanted it to be. I just kind of decided to run with it. Plus, she's actually a princess now in universe. It's Disney's 100th year, and you're not going to make your main character a princess what you're known for? Come on, come on! In the movie, Asha is upset about the wishes and sings a song about stars guiding her, leading to her meeting the marketable plushie, which I won't lie is very cute, but it's so boring. This leads to my number one problem with this movie: the lack of interesting character interactions with the lead. The majority of the characters that Asha interacts with consist of a talking goat and a little star. She does have 7 friends, which is another problem I'll get back to, but they play such a small part that you don't get to know them at all. Character interactions are my favorite parts of any media I consume. The fact that I couldn't connect to any of the relationships in this movie is very disappointing. Because the plot is so empty, the only thing it had for redemption was relationship building, and it didn't have that either, so what do we need? For my version, a similar feat plays out. Asha is upset and conflicted about her dad's choices with the wishes. How could he do that to his own people? She had to do something. Looking at her necklace, she decides to go to the thing her bio family once did: look to the sky for answers, the only thing she knew about them. Asha wishes to the stars, and suddenly she's face to face with someone or something she's never seen before: the star. Yes, we need more humanoid characters in this movie. No matter how many little sidekicks she has, it just doesn't feel like an equal relationship, you know? Star is going to be very similar to the personality of the star in the movie. Playful and comic relief, you know? I think they are technically an alien species, so they would probably be really amazed by the world, which I think is so cute. With Asha being more quiet and reserved, it leads to more interesting interactions with Star. It also gives her more of a visible character development, her coming out of her shell and whatnot. I know Star is nonverbal in the movie, but I think they would speak and be well versed in all languages, since their mission is to help people all over the world. The star in the movie doesn't really have rules, if that makes any sense. The little guy is just sort of there for however long he's there. At the end, he does have to go, but it's not revealed why or anything. He's just like, I gotta go. I want higher stakes for this character, so they only have a certain amount of time on Earth to make a difference. If you notice, the cape string he's wearing looks a bit familiar to Asha's necklace, meaning they are connected and that Star is her protector. I think it would also be cute if Star told Asha about her biological family, since she never knew them. And since Star looked over her family, they know them really well. That would just be really cute and like really emotional and like, oh. Star's amulet that he has will slowly run out of energy. They lose more and more the longer they stay on Earth, and if they don't go back in time, they'll burn out forever. In the concept art, it's shown that they are a shapeshifter, which I think is really cool. I want to keep. There is one more detail I wanted to add, which I think would be really funny, is that they are invisible during the day, since you can't see stars during the daytime. I just think that adds a lot of interest and possibilities with animation and all that kind of jazz. So Asha and Star team up, Star telling her that she has one wish that they can grant, and Asha wishes for all the citizens of Rosas to finally have their wish. I think Asha and Star work in hiding as long as possible until her parents eventually catch wind, seeing that the wishes start to go missing. This really brings out their malicious side, and they truly become villainous. The design I chose for the star is very heavily based on Peter Pan. I feel like subtly you can do things and it doesn't have to be a straight up in your face reference. In the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Asha's friend group, which, as I said before, has 7 people. Why does she need 7 friends? Oh, right, because they're the 7 dwarves. I'm not joking. This is a not so subtle reference to the 7 dwarves. Why? I have no idea why. Why did they do that? It doesn't make any sense. This is my next major problem with this movie: the blatant references to other Disney movies. Disney has always made references to their other works in movies, but it's always very subtle to the point that you need to watch the movie multiple times to see them. And there isn't usually a ton either. This movie is not like that. I get it. It's the 100th year of Disney. They want to jam-pack it with the callbacks, but there's no reason for it. It just makes it more confusing. Maybe there's a clever way to incorporate these meta references that Disney is trying to make, but Disney, you are not Shrek. Let Shrek do the meta Disney stuff. It's not for you. My problem solving for this section was to get rid of all of her friends except for 2. This reference is annoying, and it just makes these characters who already don't stand out seem unimportant. I was going to redesign Delilah and another one. It didn't really matter which one to me. I just knew I wanted her since she is Asha's best friend. I redesigned her, then decided I don't need to do another one. It's redundant, but just pretend I did for the sake of it. It's not like these designs are bad. I just wanted a little more flavor, you know? I went hard on the medieval fashion and gave her this long trailing blades since her OG hair felt kind of modern to me. I also made her main color more of a maroon instead of red to soften it a little bit. These colors just feel too desaturated to me. It's just not very fun. She is not my favorite, but I'm not redrawing any more of these. Sorry. I'm also not redesigning the Queen or Magnifico since I actually think their designs are really good. I love the Queen's hair and their color scheme is honestly really good. Sorry if that's a bit disappointing, but I felt like I would change so little with them that it wouldn't be worth taking the time to do it. So in my version of the story, I want Delilah and the others, remains to be seen, to team up with Asha and Star to help defeat Magnifico. I think you know the rest. They have big battle, oh no, someone's hurt, blah blah blah. They ultimately win. Except I want to add that Asha becomes the new ruler of Rosas, being the ruler that her kingdom really needed, releasing the people's wishes back to their person. Before this whole thing happened, Asha wouldn't even dream of becoming queen, but now she has a sense that everything's going to be alright. Her new friend does have to leave though. They are weak and the light has left them. With a teary goodbye, they promise to always look after her from the skies above. Oh my god. Oh! Why didn't they make that Star a person? Woo! Yay! It is predictable and cliche, yes, but it's a little more interesting, a little more feel-good. A feel-good movie in the way that you feel like you gotta work for the feel-good moments, you know? I do have one more thing to talk about though with this movie. So discussion online about this movie and what could have been with the Star's old design is that it would be Disney's return to romance. It's been a while in an animated film that there's been a leading romance with Disney, which I think is fine. I'm sure people were getting sick of that constant, every single movie having love interests. But I do think that a romance in this movie would have been surprisingly refreshing to see, only because other than in sequels and live action remakes, we just haven't had it in a while. Except Elemental, but I think that's Pixar. I actually like that movie. Thumbs up. Some people on TikTok actually pointed out that it could have been Disney's first portrayal of a non-binary romance, since Star technically wouldn't have a concrete gender. And I think that would have been really awesome and like a great change of pace. If you know me, you know I love romance. I say that a lot. I'd be more than okay with a smooch between them, but I would also be fine with this duo being platonic. It just comes down to how much I care about their relationship. It could also be really ambiguous, similar to Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps from Zootopia. It all comes down to getting the audience to care, and I just didn't care that much about the characters in this movie. It just didn't have the flair that the 100th anniversary movie should have had. It didn't push barriers or say something, really. It was just played really safe, and that's really unfortunate. I have been so sick of Disney sequels, spin-offs, or live-action remakes. No new ideas or original stories anymore. I don't want to watch the same thing over and over again. I want something fresh. So when this movie came out, I was actually really excited. A new idea, a new franchise, and then it just piggybacked off the success of their other films anyway. It's so frustrating. It just felt like they had to make an original movie for this 100th year, so they scraped every mediocre, safe route you could take and called it a day. It honestly feels like a robot telling you what a Disney movie should be, which makes me wonder if AI was actually involved. For this last illustration, I wanted to use the knowledge I gained from studying this style for a week and make a fake screenshot for this fake movie. Oh, the potential. I don't think it's perfect. You can definitely see my style in it, but oh well, I really like it. And Disney style is fun to draw in because you really can simplify shapes. I hope this makes up for the lack of character design since it's kinda animated. Look at them. Look what could have been. Ugh. I think the work that goes in an animated movie is unthinkable, and the team of animators and writers really work hard. I don't want to diminish someone's work. This movie has gone through phases and phases of planning. Me stepping in and going, actually, this is how you should have done it is a bit annoying, I know. But I felt like this was the best way to articulate my frustrations. I just wanted to see a little part of my vision come to life. My ideas are not perfect, but yeah, Disney, if you want to hire me, I just tore apart your movie for 16 minutes straight, but hey, I'm available. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What would you have changed with this movie? What would you change with my concept? I love ideas. I love hearing from you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. I know this is technically a holiday video. It's coming out around Christmas, so happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you guys next year. And as always, peace.